Wow. Okay. Pretty exciting times. So welcome to a brand new episode of ZONEofTECH News. And yes, I know, it's been quite a while. So I actually planned this to be just an iPhone 12 leaks video because we've had a ton of updates since we posted our last episode. But Jon Prosser has actually given us some pretty major details in terms of the Apple AR glasses. So I wanted to merge those details into this bigger video. So that's why ZONEofTECH News is back, because we have multiple longer topics to talk about. So yeah, get those snacks ready and hear all the new juicy details on the iPhone 12 and the upcoming Apple glasses. Okay, so when it comes to the iPhone 12, our last video was back in April, just about a month ago. And that's where I talked about iOS 14, lots of details on that, and a ton of details on the iPhone 12, and also the AirPower wireless charger, which apparently is coming back. And here's what happened since. So Ross Young from Display Supply Chain Consultants, a fairly well-known display analyst at this point, he shared the full display details on the iPhone 12 lineup. So the iPhone 12, the lower end model, this would come with a 5.42-inch display. This is something that we kinda already knew, but the resolution is something new. So this one is set to be 2348 by 1084, and this would translate to a PPI or pixel density of 476. So that's pretty good. That's actually higher than the 458 PPI that we currently have on the iPhone 11 Pro Max, for example. The display would apparently be made by Samsung, with a touch film being integrated into the display, and it would also support 8-bit color. Okay, nice. Now, I should also mention that this would be an OLED display, and we would actually have OLED on all the 4 iPhone 12 models, because we're getting four models. Now, the second model is the iPhone 12 Max, which is really the follow-up to the iPhone 11 from last year. So this one will come with a 6.06-inch display, but OLED this time, and also with a resolution of 2540 by 1174 and a PPI of 460. This is a pretty massive bump from the 326 PPI LCD panel that the iPhone 11 came with. According to Ross Young, the display would be manufactured by Bowie and LG. The touch panel would be an add-on to the OLED display rather than integrated into it, and it would also support 8-bit color. So these are the two non-Pro iPhones. Now, when it comes to the actual Pro models, the iPhone 12 Pro would come with a 6.06-inch display, 2540 by 1174 resolution at 460 ppi. So literally the exact same display as the iPhone 12 Max, in terms of resolution and size at least. However, this display is said to be manufactured by Samsung instead, and the touch panel would also be an add-on to the OLED display. And finally, the highest-end iPhone would be the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which would come with a massive 6.67-inch display, the biggest one we've ever had on an iPhone, with a resolution of 2785 by 1293. It would have 459 ppi, so just one more compared to the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and it would also have a Samsung display, but a touch panel will be integrated into the OLED display. It is a bit strange how only the highest end and the lowest end have it integrated. I don't know, I would have expected both Pro models of the iPhone to have the touch panel integrated into the OLED display, while both low-end models, they should have come with Bowie or LG displays, both of them, as those are less expensive than the Samsung panels. Anyway, something pretty interesting here is that both displays and the Pro models are said to be 10-bit panels. So essentially, a 10-bit panel can display over 1 billion colors compared to just over 16 million colors that a standard 8-bit display can display. The 5K iMac Pro display is 10-bit, then the Apple Pro Display XDR is also 10-bit, so I do believe that Apple would market these displays on the Pro models as Retina XDR displays again, just like they did on the iPhone 11 Pros. While the non-Pro models, even though they will have an OLED panel, they would be very similar to the panels that we got on the iPhone XS's, which were just a bit dimmer, but still overall amazing displays. Also, fun fact, Apple would not be the first to the market to come with a 10-bit display on a phone. The OnePlus 8 Pro already has that, and Oppo also had that before OnePlus, so Apple would be the third manufacturer in that case. Unless Samsung introduces something in the meantime to have a 10-bit panel on a phone. Also something new that Ross has literally just reported like a few minutes ago is the aspect ratio. So the iPhone 12, the iPhone 12 Max, and the iPhone 12 Pro, they will each have a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio. So same aspect ratio as the current iPhone 11s. However, the iPhone 12 Pro Max, that's said to have a 19.4 by 9 aspect ratio, which would imply that that display would be getting a bit wider, so fatter, so to say, without necessarily getting taller, like Samsung did with the S20 line. I'm not sure if that's a typo in the tweet or if this is really the case, so we'll have to wait and see. Now, you might have noticed that I haven't said anything, or even the report hasn't really said anything about 120 Hz or even 90 Hz or any high refresh rate displays on those new iPhones. So what's happening with that? Well, we haven't really heard anything because at this point, that is just a rumor. Now, Ross Young reports that in order to have a variable refresh rate on an Oled display, like the Apple Watch Series 5 has, for example, you need to have an LTPO display, which would allow Apple to have any refresh rate between 1 Hz and 120 Hz, allowing for a very low power consumption in return. Now, Ross did say that Apple won't have LTPO until 2021. Samsung, on the other hand, will have it on the Galaxy Note 20 and the Galaxy Fold 2. Okay, that's pretty awesome. So what does this all mean? Well, it means that Apple would either not have a ProMotion display at all on any of the iPhone 12s, which would be a pretty big downside, to be honest, to all the iPhone 12 line, especially now that even low to mid-range smartphones on the Android side are starting to add 90 Hz on their displays. So it's either that, no ProMotion, or option number 2 is that Apple will indeed have a 120 Hz display, but it will not be a ProMotion display. So it would just be a fixed 120 Hz refresh rate that Samsung also added on their S20 line. And I really don't know what to say here. You see, the Galaxy S20 line, especially the S20 Ultra, didn't have a great battery life. At least if you set it to 120 Hz and you also had the Exynos 990 model, like I did. Now, Samsung also dropped the resolution to 1080p, by the way, in order to achieve this, and the battery life on the Exynos models, like I said, it just wasn't great. So yeah, I don't really see Apple dropping the resolution to 1080p or anything like that, or even downgrading the outstanding battery life that we got with the iPhone 11s. So I really do believe that Apple might actually be skipping on a high refresh rate display this year, unless of course they provide us with a 90 Hz display at full resolution and still maintain that iPhone 11 battery life, so that's also an option. But yeah, it's looking likely that this will only happen in 2021, unfortunately. But the good news is that we could finally be getting an always-on display with that LTPO panel, just like we got with the Apple Watch in 2019. Yeah, if I could put my money on something, it would be basically this: Apple not having a high refresh rate display at all this year. So what about that notch? Well, thanks to John Prosser, we now have an actual schematic of how the iPhone 12 would look like. And as you can see, the notch itself is getting much smaller. Now, it's still going to be there, it's just that it won't be as noticeable as it currently is. Also, it seems like the actual Face ID components are pretty much the exact same size as they are now. It's just that the earpiece has been repositioned, allowing the notch to become much smaller than it is now, about 30% or so smaller. Oh, and the best part is that all the iPhone 12s will be getting this design. So Apple seems to be aiming for a consistent design across the board now, which is pretty awesome. We have this on the MacBooks, you know, fun fact, we have this on the DJI drones with the new Mavics. So that's pretty cool. So in this case, all the iPhones, the 12, the 12 Max, the 12 Pro, and the 12 Pro Max will essentially have the exact same design. Same squared off frame, which reminds us a lot of the old iPhone 4 and iPhone 5 style look, which was actually my favorite iPhone. Fun fact number 2. I'll stop saying fun facts. But yeah, same design across the board, and also the same notch dimensions. Now, the frame would be made out of stainless steel on the Pro models, and aluminum or aluminium, so that no one gets triggered, on the standard models. So in the end, yeah, there's not that much of a difference aside from the size and the frame between all those iPhones. Now, an anonymous Twitter user, Love to Dream, who's actually had some pretty accurate leaks in the past, he claims that non-Pro iPhones will come in 64 gigabytes of storage as default, which is to be expected. As you know, even the iPhone SE 2020 comes in 64 gigabytes, while the Pro models, they will come in 128 gigabytes by default. Oh, and this literally just happened right now, a few minutes ago, when I'm recording this video, which is on Tuesday, the 19th of May. Anyways, so Twitter user Love to Dream has also shared what appears to be a leak coming from someone else of a logic board for the iPhone 12. Now, this apparently got leaked on Chinese social media, so likely on Weibo, and it was produced around October 2019, apparently. I'm talking about the motherboard and not the leak. Now, I was also sent this image this week, and this was apparently the original post from the Chinese social media. So there you go, the alleged logic board for the iPhone 12. I'm not sure which one of the four this is for. I'm assuming it's probably the 12 Pro Max just because of the size of it, but yeah, there you go. And Jon Prosser has revealed the prices for the iPhone 12 lineup. You might have already seen these, but if you haven't, here you go. So according to Jon, the 5.4-inch iPhone, so the regular iPhone 12, will only cost $650. And it will come with not just a beautiful OLED display this time, but also 5G as well as 2 camera modules. Man, that's pretty nuts. So $650 is less than what the iPhone 11 costs, which starts at $700. And while yes, you do get a much smaller phone, you also get a ton of upgrades over the 11, such as a more modern design, a much better display, better performance thanks to the brand new Apple A14 processor, better cameras, and 5G. Now, the 6.1-inch iPhone 12, which would be the successor to the iPhone 11, that's getting a bit more expensive now at $750. But keep in mind that you do actually get a much better display now, as well as 5G, so at the end of the day, this will be a pretty massive upgrade over the iPhone 11, and a $50 difference in price is almost nothing really. The iPhone 12 is pretty much a flagship smartphone from the looks of it, and $750 is just a killer price. And then we have the 6.1-inch iPhone 12 Pro, so the successor to the iPhone 11 Pro. This would cost the same as the iPhone 11 Pro does now, so $1,000. And then we have the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which would cost $1,100. Both Pro models would come with a triple lens camera module and a LiDAR sensor, compared to just 2 modules and no LiDAR scanner on the regular ones. So that's pretty nice, especially with those prices. It looks like Apple's really going to be killing it this year. Samsung, Google, and everyone else, you better have some outstanding devices. I really hope you will. I know Samsung will, because this is looking really, really good. Now, just as a random fact, did you guys know that recent iPhones, from the XS to the 11, as well as the brand new iPhone SE 2020, they all include eSIM support? Essentially, you don't have to physically install a SIM card. Instead, you can just buy a digital one and always be connected on your smartphone. Even if it does get stolen, the thieves would not be able to remove the SIM, so you'll always be able to locate it. I've always been a big fan of eSIMs, and now you can get it on your phone, your tablet, as well as some laptops. So you can instantly be connected to 4G or even a 5G network without having to wait for your carrier to ship your physical SIM. So I'm very glad to say that we've actually partnered with Airalo, a company who's truly been innovating in the eSIM market. You see, with Airalo, you simply go to their website, you select the country that you're located in, you select the data plan, and then you just add the eSIM to your phone simply by scanning the QR code or entering the details manually. You can very easily do this in the settings. Or even easier, you can just download the Airalo app, and from there, you can not only find over 190 countries and regions that are supported by Airalo's eSIMs, but you can also manage and top off your eSIMs anytime, anywhere. Probably the best part about Airalo is this. So I have an iPhone 11 Pro Max and a Samsung Galaxy Fold, both of which do support an eSIM. But you see, the problem right now is that I have to speak to my carrier, who will then ship me the QR code through post, which, you know, they could just email, but this whole process takes like 2 weeks to arrive. So yeah, that's pretty bad, and it kind of defeats the whole purpose of it. However, with Airalo, you just download the app, and that's it. You select the eSIM that you want from there. The whole process takes like 5 minutes, and if I do go traveling anywhere, I can just buy an eSIM for that region in advance. As soon as I land, all I have to do is just turn on the data plan, and I'm immediately connected. There's no phone plan, no insanely high roaming costs, nothing. Yeah, pretty awesome. You can have multiple eSIMs on one device and then buy data packs according to your needs. Give it a try using the link below. Okay, now moving on to part 2 of this video, we have the Apple glasses. And for the first time since 2018 really, when CNET posted that massive report, we finally have some major details on the Apple glasses. All thanks to Jon Prosser. So we've made a lot of videos on the Apple AR glasses. We made our first video back in early 2018, and we made 5 more for a total of 6 big videos ever since. Not only that, but we've also modeled our very own concepts from scratch throughout the years, from the earliest version ever to some really strange designs, and finally to the more modern ones that we made back in February 2020. And all this was based on the very, very, very few details that we've had, and most of it was speculation as to what actually made the most amount of sense, like the position of the cameras and so on. But now it seems like we have to redesign our concept once more. Actually not by a lot, because according to Jon Prosser, the Apple Glass, yes, this is how apparently it would be called, the Apple Glass, sounds very familiar to the Google Glass, but anyways, they will look very similar to a traditional pair of glasses. So our most recent concept from February 2020 is actually pretty accurate in this case. The only major difference here, design-wise, is that the Apple Glass would have a LiDAR scanner, same one, so same style as we have on the iPad Pro 2020. It would have it on the right-hand side, and it would have no cameras at all for privacy reasons, and only the wearer will be able to see the display. So from the outside, they will literally just look like regular glasses. Like, imagine just being in a meeting and, you would look like you're just wearing glasses and instead you're actually watching a movie. But yeah, there you go. They would look like any pair of standard glasses. Jon also states that Apple is actually using the LiDAR sensor on the new iPad Pro and the upcoming iPhones to actually improve the AR tracking on the upcoming glasses. So yes, smart move, Apple. Very smart move. Jon confirms that a data processing would be made on the iPhone, as we've heard before in CNET's reports, so that's pretty great to see, as this way the glasses would remain light. Now, CNET did report that Apple was using a very fast 6 GHz Wi-Fi network in order to achieve those insanely fast transfer speeds between the glasses and the iPhone. So something like this is very likely going to be the case, and it also makes sense for Apple to require you to use the iPhone for processing. This way, you're even more locked into the Apple ecosystem, and people from outside the ecosystem that also want the glasses, same as with the Apple Watch now, they will need to buy an iPhone first. And speaking of buying, we've seen previous rumors that the glasses would cost more than $1,000, which did seem quite high. But now Jon reports that it would only cost $500, $499, plus a prescription cost on top of that. Wow. Okay, so this would be pretty much priced very similar to how the Apple Watch is priced at. You'll be able to control the glasses by either using touch gestures on the frame itself or using hand gestures in front of the glasses, just in the air, which is pretty sick. Now, Apple is said to also implement some AR codes that you can probably print, I'm guessing, and place somewhere or anywhere you want, and then the glasses would be able to detect individual things based on those QR codes. So that's pretty cool. They would also charge via wireless charging, just like we expected, and it's quite obvious that they would do that. And they would also come with a charging stand in the box, just like we expected and modeled in some of our previous concepts. However, according to Jon Prosser, and this is a very strange one, they would actually charge upside down, which is quite interesting. It kind of reminds me of how, you would charge the Magic Mouse. That was an amazing design. Thank you, Johnny Ive. Jon said that he even saw a video of a prototype that looked like a plastic unit. It was an early prototype. This will likely be improved, the design of it, and even changed until the release date, which according to Jon, it would be Q4 2020 or Q1 2021, at least when it comes to the announcement. Likely Q1 2021 because of the current lockdown restrictions. And also according to Jon, they will be announced as a One More Thing product at one of the upcoming Apple events, so either September or March 2021. However, the glasses would only be released in Q4 2021 or even 2022. So yeah, that's still a fairly long time until we would actually be able to get our hands on the glasses and use them. Anyway, the future is definitely looking promising, and I cannot be more excited for that. Like, these glasses will be truly game-changing. So I cannot wait for those. And if you're excited, if you want to see more videos like this one, more updates on the glasses, definitely subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever a new video comes out. And let me know in the comments what do you guys think of the glasses. And if you want to learn more about, my experience with Apple, we've actually uploaded a video this week covering my behind-the-scenes experience with Apple on the business side. It's a pretty interesting video, just saying. Join the Zone if you want to support the channel, and videos like this one, you also get some pretty cool perks. And yeah, this has been pretty much it. So thank you for watching. I'm Daniel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.